Hi, sir. Welcome to another episode of Sportsian's Perspective. I am Hemant and with me is Srikanth. So, hi, Srikanth. How are you?
Hello, Hemant. I'm very fine. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. So, in case you are wondering like what we are going to discuss this week, this will be a sporting. This will be a weekend for cars. We'll be discussing F1. It has been a very crazy season till now, I would say, in terms of driver first points and championships. I think it has been sorted. I don't think there will be any changes. But yeah, and for your info, Srikanth is a Lewis Hamilton fan, a Mercedes fan, and I'm a Vettel fan. Not a Ferrari fan, but a Vettel fan. I would go with a McLaren team. I'm a fan of a McLaren. So yeah, Srikanth. So we'll start off with yesterday's race, right? Was it disappointing? Was it daunting to not see Hamilton on their P1? How is it?
Yeah, it was. I first want to start off by saying, yeah, this is a good uh, place to start the video, telling that somebody else apart from Merckx have won a race in this championship. So that is the first, at least for this year. Yeah, but being a Lewis fan, it was a little disheartening to see him not win the race. But at least he recovered to get his starting position back, which is P2. It was good, but having seen how bad Merckx struggled on those tires, so I think it is good. And for sports in general, it is good that somebody else won.
Yeah,
Although I'm
actually,
not at it.
I remember Lewis Hamilton in 2013 giving a statement on Vettel when he was winning with Red Bull. So he said that people will get bored by seeing Vettel winning all the races. I think it's same
Exactly.
with now to Hamilton, like 6 seasons, it's all Mercedes, him winning all the championships, bar that 2016's Rosberg's brilliance. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I mean, you should give credit to Red Bull, right? Uh,
Yep.
the
Definitely.
tire strategy. Why do you think Mercedes did not go with that hard compound one? Do you think they were because
I don't know. They were like nobody else ever tried it. Kudos to
hmm,
Red Bull on that. They were like having the balls enough to try that out in Q2, and yeah, Verstappen pulled a good enough lap out of it, and he started on the hard tires. I was very surprised to see none of the other cars try it because just last week we had that was the medium compound tires, and everybody qualified on that, and it wasn't
hmm.
as bad as the soft. So I thought many other people would try on the hards, but it was very surprising. Maybe just that Mercedes thought they had enough raw pace to cover Red Bull or whoever it was who was starting on the hard tires, and they didn't expect that much amount of tire blistering and degradation in the race. So I think that is the reason. But yeah, what I feel is Red Bull won half of the race in Saturday's strategy itself to start on the
Yeah,
hards. And yeah, that is my take on that.
it
But
definitely paid
continuing
off, right?
that, yeah, it definitely paid off. It definitely paid off. And Red Bull had genuine pace, so they weren't struggling with rear end balance or anything like that. Even Albon coming from behind, we saw many overtakes around Stowe and Maggots and Beckett. So that was also very nice to see.
They
And
were very interesting overtakes, I would say. I mean, he was just pushing the car to the limits, and all the three
exactly,
overtakes over that corner were brilliant.
exactly. Him and Kimi's tussle where he almost went off the track,
Point
but
of
still
the
kept his
yeah,
right tires on the black and white curb
black
and
white,
made it.
yeah, that
So
was
that was very
interesting.
nice actually. Yep,
What do you think
that
will
is very
happen to
nice.
the championship now? Do you think it's like the rebirth of Red Bulls? Will we see
It
some
it
late
could be
resurgence?
because yeah, because you always seen Red Bull doesn't start off very strong, at least in the last 4 5 years, and they get better as the season progresses. But that was in a typical season where they come into the European leg, they would get much closer to Mercs and Ferraris. They'll either be third or sometimes fourth fastest car, but this year there's no doubt they're the second fastest cars. Maybe Racing Point and quali trim is a bit faster, but race pace wise, definitely Red Bulls are the second fastest car according to me. So that is good. And now Verstappen having taken second place in the championship will drive him even more. Yesterday, you might have heard after Merckx were losing traction in the first run that he told, "I don't want to drive like a grandma. This is my
Grandma.
only chance to catch and pass the Merckx, so I'll take that opportunity, even if it is having to drive the wheels out of it." So that attitude is good with Verstappen, and as we saw, Red Bull are also very good in terms of strategy. So they're not afraid to pull one a random thing out of the bag, so to try something different and destabilize Mercedes, and that I think will be very beneficial. And if Albon also gets up to that level where they can fight two Mercedes with both the Red Bulls, I think that will be much more interesting fight.
Yeah, definitely. And going into Spain, where people are expecting the same temperatures as Silverstone, it will be interesting how Mercedes will go about the tire troubles now.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
and yeah,
yeah,
Spain also, like Silverstone being one of the hardest on the tires. I guess Mercedes will struggle, although I want Lewis to win, but yeah, we'll see. I want the Ferraris also. Actually, if we see Leclerc, he's been driving a very good race, even if it is not a great quali. But all the while, he has been there and thereabouts, that podium, two podiums, and yesterday's fourth place as well. So I don't think that Ferrari is not a car for top five at least. Maybe seventh and eighth at max. Wherever he's qualifying is like their race pace also, but he's doing a very good job. He dragged that like hard tires of yesterday for 37 laps, which was the soft in the previous week. So that was a terrific effort from his part. Yeah, I would like Ferrari also to be there somewhere near, at least half a second behind Merckx, so that we'll get much more of an even fight in the
yeah,
front of field.
getting lapped, I don't think Ferraris would be wanting to getting lapped again. Uh,
That is true.
but it's something has to do with drivers' mindsets also. Like that, it's very interesting to see like one car performing like way above its weight. As you said, that Ferrari doesn't deserve to be on P4. It's a P8 or a P9 car.
Yeah,
But Leclerc has proved wrong. I mean, he got two podiums. He's been there. He's been pushing the car. Whereas and Vettel has been like clearly struggling. We're not sure like what is wrong because he's also clueless. Yesterday in the post conference he was saying like it's odd that the performance gap between him and Vettel is like huge and he doesn't know what is wrong. And yesterday I believe that he had an edge when he started on the hard compounds, staying on P11, and he had an edge. But to
yeah,
his like he turned. I mean, maybe despite of that unfortunate incident in lap one, maybe he would have been in a better position. We are sure like it might be like the talks with Racing Points or the other running out of contract talks and all might have taken toll on Vettel definitely,
yeah,
but we are not sure like what is going on in that paddock.
yeah. Even I think it is more like from a mental perspective rather than just his pure pace. I think
Yes.
his raw pace is still there, and his
Hmm.
racecraft as well. Maybe just that mental pressure that Ferrari didn't sign him, or like they didn't want him for the next season, is playing its part on his mind. And even after the first stops, we heard him complaining that you put me exactly where I asked you not to put me, like before Sainz. And I don't know, maybe yeah, that was being talked before the race, but that was also partly because of Sainz's slow stop. Like he was boxed for more than 6 seconds more than what he was
Hmm.
actually required to. So that was one of the reason. Yeah, but I feel it's more to do on the mental side rather than just Vettel's pace. And definitely the car is not to his liking. Vettel usually likes a car that is built around him, which has more front end and downforce. But this year's Ferrari is lacking both in terms of aero and power. So that is definitely not what to his liking, and that is also what I think is contributing to this dip in form.
He
But I'm pretty
definitely
sure,
doesn't have confidence in the car actually. He's not
that is
showing
true.
that. He's not
That
confident
is
with the
true.
car.
Yeah,
That is really taking a toll on his performance. Because when a driver is not confident going around the corners, then you can't expect wonders from them. And
yeah,
surprisingly, Ricardo has found that confidence. I guess last season he was saying, "I'm still getting adjusted. I'm not confident with the car and all." But I believe that he has pretty well adjusted this season,
yeah.
Daniel. And it will be
It
interesting
has
to
just
see how we will do with the
how
McLaren next year.
good. Yeah, I feel McLaren will be faster next year with Merc engines.
Hope so.
So yeah, and that will be the meme fest for everybody, for all of us, with Ricciardo and Norris being in
La-
the same team. That will be, yeah, epic and awesome. We'll have a meme sludge fest between both those drivers.
Yeah.
And yeah,
The press
that
conferences will be definitely be fun. That's for sure.
definitely. Yeah, I hope he'll make Lando Norris cry again, like with tears of joy, like when he asked, "Do you have tube set?" In
Few,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really funny. That keeps coming in the mind whenever we think of press conferences. That
The
was
thing
great.
now think about this. I mean, the season so far has been. I mean, you would also agree. I would also agree that there are no surprises. Everybody was expecting Mercedes to be there, Lewis to be there, and they have delivered at least for the 5 races till now. And I don't think it will change. Maybe if Red Bull pulls out something as similar to yesterday, but I think this is going to be the same, and it will be another championship for both Merck and Hamilton. Uh,
Right.
but the interesting things happened this season are the driver transfers. It just
Yeah.
opened up. It's as if somebody has opened a box of Pandora box, and
Yeah.
everything just fell. Like, firstly, Ferrari signing signs. It's a shock for everybody. I mean, Vettel too. I guess he's shocked, and then McLaren roping in Ricardo. What do you think? What do you think of these changes?
Yeah, honestly telling, I was surprised by Ferrari going for Sainz over Ricciardo. I still feel if they had to replace somebody, if it was Vettel or Leclerc, I thought Ricciardo was the better option rather than Sainz because he's a proven race winner and brings more commercial aspect as well. But yeah, Ferrari chose to go with Sainz. He's also a good driver, but I don't know. I can't compare him or elevate him above Vettel, so I'm not particularly sure of that signing. And considering Ferrari's current pace, I don't know if Sainz is also really happy that he's going
Happy,
next year. Yeah, we'll see. But he has answered those questions and told I'll be very happy to go to Ferrari. That is what Ferrari is, just like that old-fashioned appeal. You can't miss it. Even that is what I think is bugging Lewis. I think he wants to finish his career at Ferrari, but I don't see that happening now. Having he told that he'll race for another 3 4 years, and maybe as you told, he'll get a contract extension for another 3 years. So,
it is interesting to see,
uh,
like, what do you think? Okay, the most interesting thing is Vettel, right? So,
yes,
we were discussing like post race, how it is going to be, post this discussion, how it is going to be, and all. I would say that Vettel should get a seat. That's obvious, right? He's just 33, 34, and he's got a lot of raw pace in him. Uh,
yeah,
Still, he is the championship material. Definitely, who is going? He's the only person who can challenge Lewis. Still, I believe nobody on the grid has that thing to challenge Lewis. I mean, Verstappen is coming up definitely, but taking the fight directly to Lewis, I believe Vettel still got it with a good car of his choice. And I think, and Vettel was even saying to somebody, I guess, Lewis started winning all his championships after he turned my age. 33, 34. He started winning the championships, and you're just discrediting me right now. It's just that I won so many at the start of my career, and now you can't discredit me with all that stuff.
yeah, exactly.
It will.
Even Fernando told something similar about age when they asked, "You are coming back at 38. What are you? Will you be good at it?" He told, "Racing drivers are not uh, based on their date of birth on the passport, so it's just the speed and the right foot that I've got. So I'll do my best." I think that is correct. So what I feel is this next season at least will be a fight between the top, like the veterans versus the new guns. So that will
Yeah.
be very interesting to see. Like Lewis obviously and Fernando coming back in and Vettel, which I hope he'll go to racing Aston Martin for the next year, and then the other bunch of Leclerc, Albon, Verstappen. I don't know, should I call him youngster still? But yeah, he has over 100 races of experience. But yes, he is still relatively, obviously young and relatively inexperienced compared to these guys. So this one I'm very excited to see. I do hope, yeah, we have to talk about Russell. So what do you think? Where will he be? Obviously, he'll be in Williams for 2021. So do you see him going to Merck or any other better team in 22?
I
Or
hope he goes to Merck. I mean, that is what he's also hoping. I mean, he would have jumped in if he if he was on that Merck next year itself. He was
yeah,
obviously. he was not like shying away from saying that he's a Mercedes driver. He never says he's a Williams driver. He says he's a Mercedes driver, and Williams has just they have just contracted him to Williams. So he's not shying away from the fact. I saying that, see, I'm looking at that silver color thing there. That is my destiny, and that is where I'm going to see. And I believe that. I mean, how much ever we talk about Leclerc, we say that he has got that thing and all. I believe that Russell is more dangerous than Leclerc, given a proper car and stuff. He's ruthless. I believe he's ruthless. It's just that we are waiting to see him in the correct package, I would say. And I would rate his intensity with Verstappen. He's similar to Verstappen, I believe, Russell. I hope. I mean, Williams, it's a very great team with a lot of heritage, lot of history and all, but they've been struggling very badly in the recent years. And there have been talks like of the disinvestment also going on. Claire Williams have been in the talks of disinvestment. Nobody would want them to like wave goodbye to F1, but definitely they have we don't know like what is going with Williams and all. They have a pretty decent car than the last year one, but it's not doing any wonders or miracles. This year at least they're going to the Q2s and trying to get into the Q1s during the qualifying, but race pace is not there. Russell still
that like race pace wise, they're not even up with Alphas, I guess. Quali, yes, maybe top 15, that too with Russell's brilliance. 15th, 14th, but in terms of race pace, I guess they're not even as much good as Alphas. So, yeah, that is one thing. So, having talked about Williams and the lower teams, do you think the cost cap that is about to come up from next year will help these teams to bridge the gap in terms of the development also, where the aero and all the developments are capped for the like from championship order, the winning team will get lesser and lesser amount of development time. So do you think that will help Williams or Alpha or a Haas to catch up to the midfield and become more competitive?
I mean, Claire Williams was definitely happy about it, right? She was like, she was saying like, now everybody, it's an even field now. Now we'll see like who will fight it out. Yeah, definitely. When your budget is capped, when everything is capped, you need to work around the same things. And everybody wants to look at a closer racing. Nobody wants to see the leader 30 seconds lapping every car coming along the way, and it's no fun. It's no fun looking at races at such. And this will definitely keep a brim on everything. Maybe bring in that closer racing with the new car design and all. We expect the racing to be more closer now. I hope it definitely should bring out teams like Haas or Williams or Alpha Tauris to have a chance to fight for the podiums. So that would be definitely interesting to see. And I want to talk about the Pink Mercedes or the Racing Point or the future Aston Martin. There's been a lot of talk, right? I mean, they've surprised everybody. I mean, just copying Mercedes. I mean, I don't know if we can say that or not, but at least on the aesthetic part, it is similar to Mercedes W10. The same aero, the same brakes. I mean, now if I say that you're using the same brakes also, so but still, even though they have the package, they have a decent quali pace. I think I mean they are the second best car to Mercedes in every qualifying session I've seen, but still they've not grabbed a podium yet. They're not in that zone. Their race pace is not up to the mark. So what do you think? I mean, with the same package, I mean, is it the fault of the drivers not capitalizing on the package, or is it just that on Sundays the pace just disappears from the Pink guys?
Yeah, exactly. I would start off by telling the most likable name for me that others have given is Racing Point. So that is nice one that I liked instead of Pink Mercedes or clone of Mercedes. Yeah, I think their qualifying pace is very good, as we talked about, and I don't know, their race pace is not up to the mark. What I feel is mostly it is down to the drivers. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Lance Stroll at all. So, I mean, not just Lance Stroll, paid for seat drivers or like Latifi and Lance Stroll, so these Canadians, as to say. But yeah, and I feel that if Checo was there for the last two Grand Prix, where it was more on tires rather than anything else. So, as we all know, he is like very good, one of the best, if not in terms of tire management. So if he was there in somewhere in Hulkenberg's P3 position or even starting fifth or sixth yesterday, I'm pretty sure he would have done much better job in terms of tire management. Maybe like Leclerc could have stretched out a one pit stop race and gotten perhaps, I'm not sure of a podium, but definitely yeah, a podium was possible perhaps last week with the Mercs blowing their tires, but still last week point space was nowhere. At least this week they were almost fourth, fifth, or fifth and sixth till the end, and they finished sixth and seventh with Hulkenberg's late pit stop, which not sure yet why they had to take that. Whether the tires wouldn't have done another 7-8 laps on, those hards. But yeah, race pace wise, I'm still a little baffled. Stroll at times looks very good, like in Hungary where he finished P4 having started P3. But last week's race, he was nowhere. He was struggling. Even yesterday, he was like kind of struggling still. And Checo was not well in Hungary. He told he was nauseous and like he had body pain and all, so he wasn't able to drive properly in that race. And last 2 weeks, I don't want to put much on Hulkenberg. It was great to see him back, at least in my personal view. And he drove a decent race, and obviously he was much better in quali, putting car in P3 after sitting out for almost a year without much of an experience. And yeah, that was pretty good from him. And looking ahead, I think they have a very good future with Aston Martin coming in and Lawrence Stroll putting in all that money for development and all. And hopefully, we have heard and seen that Sebastian Vettel is almost but confirmed to joining Racing Point or the future Aston Martin. So they'll have a clear leader and somebody to follow in the team. That is what I felt was lacking. Although Checo being a good driver, I don't think he's like that true sort of a leader, especially telling like, this is what I want, this is how the car should be, this is how it should be set up. So I'm not sure if he could like grab hold of the team by the neck and take them forward. So Sebastian or an Alonso or even a Hamilton are those kind of personalities who can do that. So I feel Vettel, if and when that deal is finalized, which I'm hearing is a 3-year contract for Seb till 2022 from 2020. So I think he'll be a good addition to the team. Although I would love to see him replace Stroll, which unfortunately is not going to happen in all likelihood. But yeah,
No, when your dad is the owner of your company, nobody would dare say that replace your son. But actually, I would agree. Nico and Seb would have done to Racing Point what Hamilton and Bottas do for Mercedes. Actually, they can be that number one, number two guys. But as you said, racing is about money right now. Right now, if you have the money, you can influence any team to get it right. Not that they are not talented, but money plays an important factor here. So that is interesting to see. And I've heard this interesting rumor actually. Mick Schumacher saying that Vettel might go to Alpha Tauri and might get traded to Red Bull in mid-season next year, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think Vettel and Red Bull are made for each other? Do you think that combo is still there, and that is the thing which Red Bull might win championships again?
Yeah, in terms of constructors championship, I think Vettel will be a great addition to Red Bull. But in terms of personality, individually, if I was Vettel, I might be a little hesitant to go to Red Bull because clearly they have Max as their number one, and they are concentrating the car around him. So Vettel might not get that. Might not. I'm pretty sure he'll not get that leader role or the number one car status in that team. So again, there'll be some inter-team fights within Red Bull where he was the boss during his and Webber stint. So I think in that terms, Vettel will not be pleased to go back to Red Bull. But having said that, this is Formula One is crazy. What can happen in a week's time? Like when we saw all those announcements of Sainz, Alonso coming back to Renault, and Vettel out of a drive, and Ricciardo to McLaren. So yeah, having said that, we can't write it off completely, but I feel Aston Martin is a much better choice for Seb to go forward, at least for the next couple of years. And having tried a Merc engine or a similar Merc 2019 car, I could say.
Yeah.
So
we hope they develop a original car which suits Vettel. Well, I mean, I don't think Vettel has driven a Mercedes Spark car, right? So
yes,
he doesn't know like how it feels, but at least he'll have that engine feel. And maybe who knows, maybe after 2 years, if Lewis Hamilton says goodbye to Merck, and definitely a German company, German driver there, and who
yeah,
knows, we might even see Vettel in Mercedes place.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I just hope that Vettel stays in for the next season, wherever it is. And I hope he gets a decent package so he can challenge for podiums, at least if not for wins. I don't see anything changing much next year in terms of who will win the championship, at least in terms of team championship. It'll most probably be Mercedes and most likely be Hamilton, if not for some mechanical or some barring some
Tire
disasters. I don't
issues.
think change in the championship order even for next year. But 2022 should be very fun. Even Alonso already having written off 2021 just as some getting used to 2022. So 22 is where I'm looking for, and I hope Vettel will be in a very good package by then. And if it is Aston Martin, good for him. Like we'll see how that goes. I hope that would be good.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it, guys, from us. I hope you've enjoyed our little chat here. Do mention like if you want us to discuss anything else in the comment section, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Sportsian. Thank you.
thank you.